everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm your girl Cupid, and today we're going to get into some pet messages, right? Messages from your pet or pets. What do they want you to know? We're just going to have fun and see what comes out. I haven't really done this type of reading in a minute, and it's one of my favorites, so I figured why not do that, right? So I am open for private readings. If you do want a private reading, all information for that is in the description box below. I'm also a painter, and I do have some original art and some prints available in my shop. If you want to check that out, go ahead and link to my website also in the description box. And I guess that's like enough for the shameless plug. I just be feeling like I never really like announce anything. So those are my announcements for today, okay? So let me go ahead and get into your groups. I'm just cleaning this up a bit because I forgot to do that. Let's go ahead and get into your groups, everybody. Group 1 is going to be this little honey wand. I think that's what it's called. It's a honey wand. Anyway, group 1. Group 2 is going to be this big old chunk of black tourmaline. I love this chunk. Group 2. And then group 3 is going to be this classic white feather, okay? The classic white feather. You know what I'm saying? Never go wrong, never go out of style. All right, group 1, group 2, group 3. As always, I will have a picture inserted in the description box below. No, what am I saying? As always, I will have a picture inserted so that you can pause the video and meditate on which group you belong to. And all timestamps will be in the description box below. So anyway, I will catch y'all at your readings. Bye. Hi, group 1. You have chosen the honey wand. I guess you just like kind of scoop and spin the honey around with this wand. I don't know. Anyway, this is what you chose. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle your cards, and I'll catch you on the other side. Right, group 1. Okay, so these messages might be short just because I feel like our pets tend to be a lot more straightforward. And this is straightforward. Your pet wants to play. Okay, so we have 7 of Wands. Sorry, my sweater is like oversized and fuzzy, and I'm trying to like get it out my way, right? But maybe your pet feels like that, right? Maybe they feel like, maybe you have a large animal, maybe you have a big dog, or maybe you have a really fluffy cat. And I get here that they feel like they need more one-on-one time. They feel like they need more interaction from you. We have 7 of Wands here. So I feel like your pet might want a new toy. Or they want you to play with a toy with them. If you have a dog, maybe they want to fetch. But I also feel like with the 7 of Wands, this is kind of possessive. Like, they kind of want more attention from you, and they might feel like you are more closed off right now. They might feel with the 7 of Wands like like you're a bit more, I don't know how to say, like you have these boundaries up with your space, right? Maybe you've been taking a lot of personal space. They don't really like that. They really want to get in your personal space is what I'm feeling like. They want you to not be so defensive. The Ten of Wands, though, they feel like you work a lot. They want you to stop working, to play with them. You see how this Ten of Wands, like this arm is out and there's all these bones. So I definitely feel like they want you to like throw them a bone, literally. Like they want you to throw them a bone, throw a stick, throw their toy. They want you to play, like they literally want you to play with them. Like it's at the bottom of the deck here. Okay? The Lovers, they feel like you guys need to reconnect. Maybe you guys haven't spent as much quality time together as of late. Okay, super straightforward. And then we have Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck here. So they feel like they're kind of like waiting around for you to be done with things. They feel like they are kind of like on the outside. They're waiting around for communication. I'm also getting very restless. There's a lot of wands here, right? We got 7 of Wands and the 10 of Wands. So this is an animal that has a lot of pent-up energy. They feel very energetic. They want you to, like, I keep saying they want you to play, but it's like maybe they want to go outside. They want to run around, or they just want to like blow off some steam with you. We have ego here. So I think the root of it all is that they just want attention from you right now, right? Maybe you're going through a lot of stuff right now. You're very busy. And they see that you're very busy, but they want more attention, right? You might have a demanding pet, right? You could have a pet that just kind of like, you know how like some animals really come up to your hand and they like, that's what my dog does. Like she'll come up and she'll like literally put her face, like she'll force her whole face underneath my hand, okay? And so it's like they're kind of like demanding. They're demanding attention from you. We have Stay in the Sunlight. And I feel like that really resonates with the ego here, right? With the sun. Some of them really do just want to go outside and play. But I also feel like they see you as the sun, right? So they just want some attention. They want to stay underneath your... See, my dog just came up. I feel like this is her pile. I'm sorry, boo-boo. But yeah, like, they really just want to stay in your presence. They want all your attention. They want to... they feel like they really just enjoy your attention. It feeds their ego. And they just want to play, like even with the marbles here, right? Marbles, I feel like for some of y'all, your pet could just be bored of their toys. Like their current toys aren't interesting. Like you're playing with them maybe, or you give them attention. But it's like the way you're giving them attention is kind of stale a bit. It's not interesting. They might want more toys. Or they just feel like you are focused on other things. Like maybe you're moving around a lot and it just has them feeling kind of like left to roam as they please, and they're just not really interested in that right now. We have Wildness at the bottom of the deck. Oh no, not at the bottom of the deck, but for the Oracle, for the Pear Tree Oracle here with this Wildness card, I am feeling like you have a very energetic animal. If you have a cat, they might literally just want to go out and like, maybe you have a prowler. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like one of those animals that like literally like to go and find things. Maybe give them a little space to go and do that, right? They want to go find things. Maybe they have something they want to show you. I also hear that like they're waiting to show you something that they found. But they feel like they need to get out. I'm getting like a lot of pent-up energy. They want to get out and do something. Maybe take them to a park if you have a dog. They need to go to a dog park. What else? Let's see. But it's like this playing. There is an element of getting out, though, with the travel here at the bottom of the deck. It's like they're waiting to go somewhere, right? They're waiting for you to get done with something so that they can go somewhere and do something. There's this need for you both to maybe plan a little trip or plan a little outing, or there's just something that needs to be shaken up, like a change in scenery or a change in routine even. There is an element of kind of just being bored and frustrated and wanting, it's like they want you to prioritize them. Yeah, but with the lovers, I mean, you guys are like two peas in a pod. Like, they see you as they're like everything. Like, with the ego and stay in the sunlight here, and then the lovers, I feel like whatever type of pet you have, they do see you as like their whole world. And so it's like they just want to be with you and they want more attention from you, is what I'm getting. Just play with me. They're like saying, play with me. They definitely want more toys. I feel like with the marbles here and then the 7 of Wands, they have something, they have a toy. They either have a specific toy, or whatever toys they have, they're not interested in anymore and they want new ones. Okay? And if it's not either of those, then it's like they want you to play with their toy with them, if that makes sense. Like, even this little wand here looks like a toy. Okay? And so I'm getting like, yeah, like, this is just like a lot of this. Your pet's like really energetic. So most of you might have a dog or something that moves around a lot. Okay? This is definitely my dog's pal. And I feel a little embarrassed that I'm like admitting this. Like, yeah, she is looking at me right now. Actually, no, but she was just over here staring at me. But yeah, like, they just want to play. This is an animal that has a lot of energy. So I feel like you just have to incorporate more one-on-one playing with them. And I feel like, for example, with my dog, she gets tired out pretty easily. So, like, give them that playtime and they'll be out like a light. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you don't give them that playtime, then they get restless and then they just start like waiting around for you and whining at you and pawing at you, you know? But when you give them that little time, when you prioritize it, then they're like really content. They're like, yeah, I'll sit next to you quietly right now because we just played, so I'm good, you know? But yeah, I hope that resonated. I know this is super short, but I feel like this is not the type of reading to go really long. If you have a specific question about pets that you feel like I can expound upon, go ahead and drop it in the comment section and I would love to do a video on it. But anyway, you guys have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Bye, Group 1. Hey, Group 2. You chose this big old chunk of black tourmaline. Let's go ahead and get into your groups. Your reading. I'm going to shuffle the cards and catch you on the other side. All right, Group 2. This is interesting. I feel like this is my group who have pets in enclosures, right? So you have some type of reptilian, or you have a small mammal maybe that's like in a cage. Like, you have something that's in a cage. If you don't have something in a cage, this still might apply to you. But if not, I don't know. Anyway, let's just get into it. So, already with the Tower and then the World here, I feel like you have a animal that my first thought is that they've outgrown a space, right? With this world here, let me get my magic wand. Okay, with the world here, there's like this little egg, and then you see all these different, it's like an evolution. So I feel like you have, like, your pet is growing up, right? They've grown up and they need more space. I feel like, especially with this egg, right, how it has a shell around it. Maybe right now they're in a small space. Maybe they're still young, and the space that they're in is reflective of, you know, what they needed when they were younger, pretty much. You get what I'm saying? But it's like, I feel like they've grown out of it. With the tower here, this is about like structures collapsing. But I also see this bird here, and it makes me think of, so you might have a bird that's in a cage, but it does make me think of how, like, some animals will climb up on your shoulder, and you see how this bird is like screaming. It looks like it's like screaming out. And so I feel like whatever animal you have, it's like they're like busting out of this structure, like they're climbing out of it. Some of you may have an animal that is a climber, and they need more space to do that. They need more space to climb. But even if they're not or fly, like if they're a bird, they need room to fly or flap their wings. Maybe they need time outside of the enclosure to do whatever they're trying to do. But either way, there's this energy of just feeling confined to a space that no longer suits their needs. Okay. Then we have Ace of Coins. And another thing that makes me think about like structures and stability. And then also this shell here. So maybe some of you have turtles, maybe some of you have snails, or it just could be that this animal, because we have a shell, and then this egg also has a shell that's in the world. So there's this energy of like, whatever they're in is too small, or they're no longer, maybe some of them no longer need an enclosure, right? So let's say you do have a furry friend, and they have an enclosure, whether you have a dog that that's in a cage, or you have a bunny rabbit or a gerbil. It's like, even in those circumstances, they either no longer need that enclosure, or they just need time outside of the enclosure to move around. I do get there is an energy of climbing. Somebody has an animal that likes to climb, and they need space to, I just see they need room to roam, like, because we have the Fool here. I do feel like maybe take them out to play with them. It might have to do with exercise. The Fool. Yeah, it makes me think like they just feel pinned. They feel stuck in something, right? But I feel like it just has to do with their age, right? They're at that age where they just need more space, is what I'm feeling like. They need more space, because we have at the bottom of the deck Temperance. So I feel like for a lot of you that literally just means, actually I think because we have the bottom of that Temperance, and then under here we have 888. So I feel like this is just about evaluating the needs, right? So your pet's needs are changing over time, and I do feel like for some of you it has a lot to do with the type of pet you have, right? So if you have a snake, you know how snakes, their skin shed, okay? It's kind of like whatever your pet is, either they're literally shedding, or they need to shed the space that they're in. They need a bigger space, or that space may require different qualities, right? So I mean, I don't have a pet in an enclosure, but let's say before they only had one obstacle in their cage. Maybe they need more obstacles to move around, right? You know how a hamster can have a hamster wheel, but then maybe they need a little tunnel. Maybe they need a little ladder that takes them up to a little second floor, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like there's just this need for space to move around. Temperance, so it's like a balance. So maybe you do have a pet that needs time in but also needs time out, right? So I know people who've had snakes, and yeah, like the snake wants to be in its enclosure, you know, at times, but also sometimes, yeah, take them out, you know, walk around your house with them and let them get some fresh air, let them, you know, stretch their muscles a little more, is what I'm getting with the Temperance. What's funny here is with the message cards, we have no more, right? And so there is something here about a change. Like, I feel like this is really indicative of their needs changing. And then right underneath that, we have shapeshift. And so I do feel like some of y'all have some reptilians, right? Some of y'all have reptilians or birds, because there's a bird in this Temperance card, and then I'm seeing a frog. And so I feel like, and then we have these eggs, right? And so I feel like literally for some of you, your animal is about to go through or is already going through like an actual physical shift, right? Either they're shedding, I don't know if birds, like, they like might shed their feathers. Some birds do that, right? I don't know. But like, there's something happening with their body, and that has to do with them growing up, where it just, they're uncomfortable is what I'm getting. They're very uncomfortable because the tower is about to collapse. And I keep looking at this bird, like, it feels like this bird is literally like climbed up this person's body and is like trying to force its way out, right? And then we have permission here. So I feel like this is permission to me. This is an animal that is locked up, right? They are locked up in a box, and they need, their message is like they're asking you, hey, can you please let me out? You know how like you have a little kid and they want to go outside and play with their friends? Like, this is your pet being like, hey mom, can I go outside? Hey mom, can I get out of here for a minute and move and do something else, move around? Okay. And then we also have history here. And so I feel like this, I don't, at first I was a little, not confused, but just kind of interesting, like why history would come out. But you see how this person here, and they're looking at this person higher up on the stairway, and it almost looks like they're dressed the same way. And so I feel like this has a lot to do with kind of like over time, right? With history, over time, it's like it's the same thing, but not quite. Right? So some of you do have an animal that's shedding its skin. Like, I really do feel like there's a snake that's shedding right now. But it's also kind of like, to me, this is just about like over time the needs change, right? And it's like, I feel like, because this person looks a little pained, and you can't really see their face, but there's like this face doesn't really look happy. It's like a concerned type of look. And so to me, it's like your animal kind of saying, like, we can't do the same things all the time. Like, over time, like I said, the needs change. And so there's going to be a need for reevaluating, you know, how your pet's needs are being met here. And then at the bottom of the deck, like, this is going to be a short reading, guys. At the bottom of the deck, we have choice. And you see all these windows. So I feel like if you have a small like gerbil bunny or something, they need more obstacles, right? This has to do with like stretching their limbs, right? They need more obstacles to go through, like different portals. For others of you, this is about choosing maybe a different type of enclosure, different shape of an enclosure, maybe different size. But this also makes me think of like crossroads. And so I feel like you see how these two people, it's like they are approaching these windows, these portals, and now they kind of have to have the choice of choosing which direction to go in. And so I feel like this is about choosing a new space for your pet to be in, right? Making some changes to the living arrangement. You get what I'm saying? Whew. I hope that all made sense. I'm going to leave your reading there. If you enjoyed this reading, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to comment. And if you have any other like specific types of questions you want to ask about your pet, go ahead and drop them in the comment section, and I will make a video on it. And then And also, like, yeah, if you want to be notified whenever I post new videos, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye! Hi, group 3. You have chosen the classic white feather. Yes, it does not go out of style, does it? All right, give me 1 second. All right, so we're going to get into messages from your pet. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards, and I will see y'all on the other side. Right, group 3. Okay, so I'm gonna say trigger warning because I do feel like this kind of happens every time, or maybe not every time, but I do feel like I did another reading at one point where somebody's like, somebody's pet who's passed on came through, and I feel like that's what's happening here with this feather. Some of you have a pet that has already passed away, okay? And so maybe they had an injury. Let's just get into it, okay? I'll get into the messages and I'll kind of break down. And I feel like this is either going to resonate for you or it's not, like all readings, of course. And if your pet, even if your pet is still alive, if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't, okay? So just bear with me. So, first I have the Star, the Knight of Wands, and then the Nine of Cups, right? I mean, the Nine of Wands here, right? So there's lots of wands here, and then we have the Star. I feel like, first of all, with the Nine of Wands, there is a barrier between you and your pet, right? There's this barrier here that your pet has put up. Or this is between, maybe they didn't intentionally put it up. Like, I'm not getting anything like they don't like you, but there's like a distance between you, right? Like, you can't get to them, they can't get to you. With the Knight of Wands, I do feel like there's like a freedom here. There's like, I don't know, I just feel like they're kind of out of reach. They're out of touch. Like, I don't see like a connection. I don't even see as far, I mean, not no connection, but I don't see that you guys are in contact, is what I'm saying. And I also don't really see anything from them wanting anything from you or really wanting you to know anything, right? With the Star, like there's just this distance here. There's almost like a faint longing or a faint recognition. So maybe your pet has been passed on for quite some time. Maybe some of you didn't even know your pet was dead. Maybe this is about a pet that ran away or you lost them or something like that, and it's been a long time. I do feel like, though, like, usually when this type of stuff comes through, it's very, like, it's abstract, right? This is their spirit, their soul. With the Knight of Wands, their soul is kind of like running free. The Knight of Wands, it's kind of like doing its own thing. Yeah, I'm just seeing like this roaming energy. Maybe some of you had a horse. So maybe some of you had a horse. If not, it doesn't have to be that you had a horse, but it's like I am kind of paying attention to like this horse like running, right? I do feel like also with the Nine of Wands, I see with this leg, maybe there was an injury that your pet had that is significant. Not even if it doesn't necessarily have to mean that this injury caused your pet to pass away, but there is like this, I'm seeing like an injury to a leg, maybe having to have a leg amputated. I also heard something about cancer. Sometimes pets get cancer. And the sad thing about having a pet though is that sometimes like to help them get the help they need is just so expensive, you know. Even if you have pet insurance, it can just be so expensive. Some pet insurance won't even pay for it. It'll just pay you back after you pay for it. And it's like, that can be really stressful. So I'm so sorry if that happened to you. But I am getting an injury here. But I do see with the star, there's like a recognition, but there's a great distance, right? It's almost like, oh gosh, this might not resonate with everybody. But anybody who's ever like watched or played like Final Fantasy, there's this scene where somebody died. Like now I didn't watch or play Final Fantasy, but I used to watch the AMVs on YouTube. So anyway, there's this scene where somebody died and they're being lowered into this like glowing lake. And maybe it was Cloud. No, it was Zach. Maybe it was Zach. I don't know. I forgot these people's name, but he had the black hair, and he's lowered into this glowing lake, and there's all these feathers that come flying down, you know what I mean? And so I feel like that's the energy I'm getting here of like this feather kind of just being like the memory of them. And the thing about animals too is that their soul, I mean, I don't want to make assumptions, but the last time this type of energy came through, it's almost like animals just kind of have this acceptance of death that is different than our own, and their energy seems to kind of like sink into the pool of energy, right? And so it's almost like they're not even really your pet anymore specifically. It is just that they are now one with the ether, you know what I'm saying? And so that's why this recognition is here, but it's not like I'm getting a specific pet with their specific feelings or needs, okay? There is a 10 of Cups here, okay? And so there's a lot of love. I feel like there is this energy of just being at peace. Also, I heard union, so there's a being united, right? Like I said, being absorbed, being accepted, right? Also integration, I just heard. And so they are integrated back into the pool of energy, of love and light and life, right? They are just, you know, like, I don't know how to say that. Like, trigger warning, right? Like, I don't really know how to say that, but they are just kind of like united back. And maybe with the 10 of Cups, maybe your pet is united back with their own lineage, their own family that they have been taken away from, you know, in their lifetime, right? Because I see all these turtles and like, see these two turtles like meeting up and then these other turtles swimming around. And so it's like, because they've passed, they were able to unite back with maybe their own parents, okay, maybe their own siblings, you know, and loved ones that they were, you know, essentially taken from. And, you know, I'm sure we don't always think about that part either, but like a lot of our pets are orphans, you know, they are separated from their moms and dads and sisters and brothers, you know, they don't get the luxury we have of just being with their family and having access to their actual like biological family, okay? And so when I was shuffling, because when these tarot came out, I didn't really know, like I wasn't getting a message, right? And so I asked, what does group 3's pet want them to know? And no came out. And so I feel like your pet is really at peace. I don't really think they have anything they want you to know. They don't really have a message for you. And I think it's interesting for that to be under the star, because that lets me know that, like I said, there's this recognition and there's this distance, but there's no real longing to connect back. And for some of you, that may hurt. For some of you, this will ease any heartbreak you may have from having lost your pet. To know that they are fine. Like, there's nothing that they need from you anymore except to just let them go. You know, I don't see them needing anything, you know. If anything, and they don't, and I wouldn't say they don't miss you, but they don't really miss life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, it's not personal. It has nothing to do with the type of life they had or nothing. It's just that they are accepting the progression of their soul. Like, it's just what it is what it is, right? We do have excitement here, and that's underneath the Knight of Wands. And so I feel like they're pretty much just looking forward. I feel like they are just going with the flow of things. I feel like there is, like looking forward, because even underneath that we have the Spear, which is about facing the unknown, but with this like anticipation almost. But we'll get to that in a second. We have, what is faith without accountability, right? And so there's that like an energy, like I said, of just acceptance and like just accepting that things are gonna be what they are, that they're gonna get to the next place. We have it's over at the bottom of the deck, and then we also have heal underneath that. And so I feel like this is just about the progression of life. I don't know. Whenever pet deaths come through, it's never really, it's never anything deep or personal. I mean, this could be deep, but it's like, it's not really like anything to get too deep into, because they don't have any real feelings about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? And with the Spear, you see how there's like this great cityscape or landscape in the distance. Like, you don't know if it's a cityscape. You don't know if it's a landscape. You don't know if it's a castle. It's kind of like just this facing the unknown. It is, the Spear is like about the unknown. Like, this is the unknown. Their soul is in the ether. Right. What is faith without accountability? This is about trust. Okay, trust. Maybe they did have an injury, or maybe they did have some type of illness that led them to that point of passing away. But it's kind of like like I said, they accepted it, that accountability. They just have that trust. You know what I'm saying? That everything's going to work out, that they played their part. I'm getting, like, they don't have any regrets, right? They played their part, and they're owning up to their part. And so we have changes here, and this isn't just about changes over time. And then we have abandonment right underneath that, and then the Oracle right underneath that. Like, I mean, I can't make it more plain. Your pet has passed on to the other side. There's like nothing to say about it. They've passed to the other side. They've accepted it. They are one with the ether, and they're vibing until they are, placed somewhere else. Whether that's in another animal body or human body or a plant body, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, energy just gets recycled. They're vibing in the ether. That's all I can say. So I hope that was not disappointing. I hope that did give some people some peace of mind. If you have been grieving over a lost pet, just know that they're not suffering, and they're not clinging to anything. And with the 10 of Cups here, it's all love, 100%. So if you enjoyed this reading, or it resonated, or you got what you needed from it, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you have any specific questions that you want to ask regarding your pets, go ahead and drop them in the comments section, and I will honor those questions for you. And if you want to be notified whenever I post new videos, then subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye, Group 3.